I got the horse right here. The name is Paul.
Hello, racing fans, and welcome back to another edition of Handicapper's Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads, along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Sunday, May the 14th races at Hastings. We do have 8 races on tap. A great feature event for older horses.
Yes.
What we lack in quantity, we certainly make up for in quality with Distinctive Passion and Modern hooking up again.
A very impressive
in,
Distinctive
feature.
Passion in the opening stake. We'll see if he can do it again in the 7th race today, as well as some other very nice horses there. As you mentioned, 8 races on tap. Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all. Let's get right into this, Mike? First race is a 4,000 non-3 event for older colts and geldings. Field is 6 lined up for this. 6.5 furlongs. Nice to be running 6.5 furlongs.
Yeah, no, nice to get back in the chute, and it's way better.
I had a tough time with this one. I like 1 and 5, and I had Stone Ridge Ruler on top, and I ended up going with Heartset because he started out last year running against some tough horses. Captain Jones, Taylor's Deal, Burnham. You know, he was running against the nuts.
Good
he
horse.
Got down to 4,000 at the end of the year, but as we always talk, Mike, you can get down to the bottom at the end. It's a lot easier to start out that way next year. He can run protected. Paddy Leaning attracts David Lopez, who's on a heater this year, putting together a great meet. Good for Dave. Hart said I went barely over Stone Ridge Ruler, who he started against tougher horses last year too, like Shoe Schwab, Prince Hotel, Peace Arch. There's some tough horses there. He starts out at the 4,000 level, and Harold Barrowby, Hall of Famer, off to a good start too. And I like that 48-2 for a horse start at the 4,000 level. Jeff Birmingham takes the call. It's between those two, I really feel, Mike.
Yep.
After that, couldn't decide what to do. I went to Deidre Bell's Orma.
Orma, the filly.
As Clint Gore tells me, it's pronounced Orma.
Orma,
says,
okay. That's
according
fine.
to,
Let's go with it.
So I put Orma in the 3rd spot. She's got an out in that Bullet Queen of Barney race. She's running against the boys here, but I like the fact that she's got an out. I put her in the 3rd spot. 1-5-6 for me.
Yeah, I agree with the 1 and 5. I went 5-1. I went Stone Ridge Ruler over Heartset. Whoever gets to sit in front of the other, neither have speed, and that's the whole. I thought maybe Stone Ridge Ruler might have a little bit better gate speed and might be the one positioned ahead of his main competition, Heartset. So
yeah,
it was between those two. I went 5-1, and I put the 3-horse Instant Cash in for 3rd. I've been working well for Lacey Birmingham, and give that one a shot. 5-1-3. In the Sunday opener, on to race number 2, $16,000 older horses going 6.5 furlongs. I thought the 4 Dashing Dawn ran a pretty good race a couple of weeks back, and against It's In Command, who had the lead. Those are far better.
That's
BC Charlie
race, yeah.
And Pfeiffer. I thought it was a pretty solid effort. Dashing Dawn kind of had the inside, shuffled back a bit, never comfortable being down in there, and just kind of was one pace throughout, but I think a race that's better suited to him today and a little easier company as well. I'm going to go to the 4-1 at Dashing. I see Amadeo stick with him. But the 5 Western Heritage, Source did nothing wrong last year, won a bunch of races in the starter series.
Nice horse.
Nice horse that's got some class to him, and Western Heritage is very dangerous. I think you definitely need the 4 and 5. I put the 3-horse. I was between the 3 and the 1 after the conflict, and Mighty Fraser. Both are interchangeable for me. Mighty Fraser took advantage of a pace duel, had a great trip and ride by David Lopez, and got the money at the same level. But the 16s come up tougher with horses dropping like Dashing Dawn and Western Heritage resurfacing, and even Clarny Kids a neat horse. With the White Lewis, kind of a newcomer here to Hastings, been galloping a lot of horses. He gets the call for Darryl Stewart. But I went 4, 5, and 3.
I got like no fancy pick here. I went with the horses that just ran 1st, 2nd, 3rd in this race. I like Mighty Fraser. He did have a fitness edge last time, but he's like rolling right now. I thought that was a really good race for him. It should set up for him again. I like the fact that he's outside after the conflict. I put him on top of after the conflict, who ran a big one, and he could turn the tables on Mighty Fraser this time now that he's got a race under his belt. He's going to be a little bit fitter. And Rebus, he's on the outside, and he has speed. He broke from the 2-hole last time, so he kind of had to go, and he got pressured a long way, and he carried him a long way, and he moves to Enrique Gonzalez from Mark Luch, who's off to a good start. Rebus is live in here too, but it is a race where you can make a case for everybody. Killarney Kid's a cool horse. As you mentioned, Dashing Dawn's dropping. Western Heritage is a very nice horse.
It's a nice sprinter.
It's a very good sprint race. You can make a case for everybody. I ended up 3-1-6, but not really hard set on anybody. I like them all. On the 3rd, $4,000 claim event, 4 fillies and mares, non-winners of the year. There we go. Field of 7 here. Got to my good old friend Moonride. Huge effort from her a couple weeks ago. Beaten just a half a length behind her stablemate, long shot Zanita Rose. But I thought Moonride ran a professional race there. And I look for her to get the money today. I put Queen of Barnai, who's coming out of a, there's also there's a 4 condition on here, of course.
Right.
And I thought she ran a very good race. I liked her more than Bullet coming out of that race because it looks like there's some speed in here with Cadeo kind of likes to go. Texas Alley Cat's very quick. I dig that as quick. Bullet's quick. That's why I went with horses that could close. Like Moonride, she could sit just off it. I think Queen of Barnai makes a nice move, and she's already had an out. I dig that. It's very dangerous. She had an out at this level. You know, didn't really have a lot of excuses. Didn't get the lead. She broke mid-pack, and I'm going to watch another one with her. Put her in third because she is a classy filly. She's come back to work good, 47-2, but there's a lot of speed signed on for this. I like the close. I like 6-3, and I dig that in for third. 6-3-5.
I don't have a lot to add. It's not a race I love at all. It's just they're not the most consistent mares on the grounds, and they're the cheaper end horses. They still provide exciting races. But I went 6 Moonride. I don't trust the horse, but I respect what the horse did last time. Sat close to the pace, still ran on well at the end of the race. There was a whole pile of them at the finish. There was like a four horse photo for the win, and Zenita Rose got a half a length in front. But I thought Moonride was pretty impressive. I dig that for me for second, and Queen of Barnai for third. 6-5-3. I got the same 3 as you, but just kind of switched your second and third picks. On to the 4th race. Fillies and mares here, non-2 lifetime, going 6.5 furlongs. There's one older horse in the race, and that's the 7 horse Estelato, who I think has drawn a good spot. Looks like some speed in the race, where she can kind of sit just in behind. Her races last year were very good. She did defeat our Triple Charm, who came back to win. And then her first start against Winner, she ran third behind Chianti, who was running in the stake on Saturday, and McDove, who's a very nice horse in the Mark Cluche barn at the time. But she went, obviously something went wrong, and she was given the rest of the season off. But her work time has been excellent. Silvino Morales rides, and I see a lot of speed. I just think it's a nice draw. I know she's a big filly. I think the outside is perfect for her. 6.5 is perfect, and I'm going to try Estelato to defeat the 1 Morning Blurs, who did everything right, but just kind of got nailed by Rough Enough last time into the Greg Tracy barn. Battled on the pace. It was fast. They didn't come home very quick, but still, this horse lasted pretty good, and I thought ran a very game race. And I put the 6 horse Classic Statement, who ran second behind Dazzling Dawn. It was a distant second, but still did run second. Had a pretty comfortable lead, 22-1, 46-1. That was a very fast track that day. Those fractions were very slow. And this horse didn't run well to be second, though. But there's other speed in here. I just see a pile of it in here. I see the 1, the 2, the 5, the 6. There's speed in here. I just see the 7 getting a really good trip. And once again, being the lone 4-year-old, that's a big edge. I went 7-1-6.
I went with the horses that have run. I was really drawn to the horses that have run in here. Morning Blurs, as you mentioned, just a rock star effort that first out.
Yeah,
to get beat by Rough Enough, who came in here race fit out of the Greg Tracy barn.
Out of Phoenix.
This filly was 24-1. Rough Enough was about 1-9, and she gave her everything she could handle. Just got nipped at the wire. So I got Morning Blurs on top. Nancy Betts off to a great start as well. Morning Blurs on top. Classic Statement, as you mentioned, did get beat by 8 in the Dogwood, but they went in 1:15-4. That's smoking. And the fact that she was still a length and 3/4 behind a very nice filly in Yukon Bell, that's good enough for me to put her in second here. And I put Baby's Got Track.
Yeah, she's
who was only good. 2 1/4 behind Morning Blurs in that allowance race.
Start.
And yeah, exactly. Hopped at the start, had a brutal start. And Phil Hall's going great guns right now, batting 30%. And she gets in really light too, 110 with the Bug Boys. So I went 1, 6, and 4 in the 4th.
And we should note too that David Lopez, he really doesn't have a say in who because he is he's
the barn rider for
Elizabeth
North American Thoroughbreds.
And so just because
he gets off Classic Statement, that doesn't mean anything.
Second is Stag, it's still not this hat. And they have the same agent, Hamill and Lopez. So
the old North American Thoroughbreds will make up for that one later on.
I know they will. He'll want his fair share of
He'll be just
red
fine.
and white checks. Yeah.
But yes, good point, Mike. That's why that's not a clever move by anybody.
It's a handicapper may look is that Lopez likes the 5 better.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the case. He has to ride the 5. He's a contract rider
yeah.
for the odd one. They will let him ride, but basically he's got to ride all the red and whites.
On to the 5th race. This is a optional 25 for 3-year-olds. Another nice race. A good race this weekend.
There are a lot of allowance races and stakes today.
This is 6.5. 8-horse field. Interesting race here. I went to, again, a horse that has a start. Salzburg only got beat 3 lengths in the stake behind Rock Victor and Driller. And Stablemate Igor, I thought it was a live race for him. He laid close to a decent pace. You know, he's up there. They went in 22 flat, 44 and 4, and faded. He only got beat 3 lengths. So he's going to get a lot out of that. Top stable, Dino Condolinos. I got Salzburg on top of Kermode. He ran 5th in that same race. He was only a half length, quarter length behind Salzburg. And he's another one, very nice 2-year-old here last year. He should take a big step forward with that race under his belt, and Richard Hamill sticks with him. And I put all under control out of the Mike Anderson barn in the 3rd spot. I liked this horse a lot last year. I was very impressed with his maiden breaking score. Had a bit of a bad trip in the Jack Down Futurity, getting pressed the whole way, and then the Ascot, ended up running 6th. I want to see him lay off the pace and come running, because there should be a decent pace to run at in here. If he runs that way, throw him in the mix. I think he hits the board under David Lopez. 3, 4, and 1 for me.
I have the same 3. I see the race the same way. Salzburg off of that race was that horse ran great.
Yeah.
Chased a fast pace.
He
hung
ran
on well.
sensational, you might say.
He is absolutely sensational. And Kermode ran a good one. Did get set up, coming from off of it, but barely got defeated.
I see him bouncing back with a better effort today.
No, that was a
great race under his belt.
Both those horses are pretty close in ability. I think Salzburg with a better pace scenario will be pretty dangerous. And I agree with giving the 1 all under control another chance. Chased a freak and fall at last who just ran away and hid by 100 lengths and 110 flat. I mean, that was an impressive performance.
Yes.
This horse didn't run a great race. Was a little flat, but I'm not going to give up on him after 1 race. He'll be better. I went 3-4. I agree, 3-4-1 in this 3-year-old allowance event to kick off the late pick 4. On to race number 6. This is George Royal. 3 and up, going 6.5 furlongs. Field of 6 signed on. I'm going to try Modern, maybe to turn the tables on Distinctive Passion. I just like the draw better. He was drawn inside last time, had to take back and come around. This time he's going to be on the outside. He won't need to work for position. He gets to sit. Distinctive Passion is going. There's no question about it.
And he's going quick.
Modern is going to sit is where Richard wants him to sit. He will be on his heels, and I just think Modern will run a better race when he doesn't have to really work for position early. It'll help his late kick. He wasn't disgraced at all losing by what he did. He'll be better. Distinctive Passion had been running, had a big fitness edge. Modern hadn't been running. I think there's a lot, and there's a bit of a weight switch. I don't know, maybe they're the same. But I just think Modern might be able to. I think this will be a better day for Modern, and maybe Distinctive Passion will run away and win in 16 flat or 15 and change, because he is a really good sprinter. But I think Modern will be more effective this time. I put the 5 Hobbits Hero. I was between the 5 and the 1 Venetian Mask. I went 5 Hobbits Hero, who's making his Hastings debut. Been running on turf primarily, but it looks like he's taken nicely to the track here, and he's got some class. I went 6-4-5.
I went with the 4 on top, Distinctive Passion on top. That was a very impressive race. This horse is very quick. He runs in, I mean, you go look at his form, this is what he does. He runs in 21 and 3, 21 and 4, 44 and change, and he doesn't stop. Running. And that's a very tough horse to keep up with. And until he gets beat, I'm sticking with him, especially at this distance. He's a handful. He's a world-class sprinter type horse. And especially he comes back off of that race and he works at 58 and 2.
Come out of it good.
He is quick. He is quick. I got Distinctive Passion on top of Venetian Mask, who almost caught him last time. And Venetian Mask didn't have the benefit of being race fit. And if Modern tries to push Distinctive Passion, tries to run him in the ground, Venetian Mask, if he does, Venetian Mask wins this. He comes running at him. I loved that move last time, Jeff Birmingham, especially because this horse runs huge in the premiums last year, going long, nice and it's kind of like, was that a fluke? And he shows her up right first out this year, finishes a good second, only beating a length behind this horse that's been running. That was no fluke. Venetian Mask, a nice horse.
Nice.
I put him in second. I put Hobbits Hero in the third. I know I left Modern out. Probably a mistake. Whenever I don't pick Dino's horses, it's a mistake. But Hobbits Hero is race fit. This is a cool horse that Jerry Hollendorfer claimed for the North American Thoroughbreds down at Santa Anita. And, this is a guy that's been throwing low 90s, high 80 buyers.
Just like Distinctive Passion.
Definitely fits
they're
here.
claimed out of high climbing races in California.
And that makes it very tough here.
Makes it very tough and sprints here.
4-1-5 for me in the George Royal. On to the 7th race. Allowance non-2 for 3 and up. Colton Geldins, field of 7, going 6.5 furlongs. Here I do go to the Swift Thoroughbreds and Dino Connolly. Silvertown's a cool horse, running all in stakes races last year. Just gets beat a nose in the first 3-year-old stake here. Third in the Chris Losa, third in the Emerald Derby. Second in the Winston Churchill, only beat a half behind Opportunistic. Didn't have a great trip in the Derby. Shows up this year, first out. Only gets beat a head down in Seattle. Gets an 80 buyer. He's got the race under his belt. Gotta like Silvertown. I got him on top. He's got speed. He's going to be close. Silvertown on top of Santa Fe Trail, who was one of the few horses we saw win early on in this meet without any winter conditioning. Won the first maiden special weight of the year in impressive fashion, fighting the whole way from decent horses like Coat of Arms and Fedosov. Fedosov is Venetian Masshouse brother. We're going to hear from him later on this meet, I guarantee you that. But I think he beat some decent horses. Got a 66 buyer. Amadeo Perez sticks with it for Hall of Fame trainer Dave Forster. Put him in second. And I put Torneador. This guy can fire fresh. He's quick. Just a cool horse in Milton Palmas. Milton done a good job with him. Nice work coming in this in 59-4. He should be on his toes for Jose Asensio. 4.75 for me.
Yeah, not a pile of speed in this race. This is a straight non-2 light. There's no allowance condition with it, so the race has come up, relatively,
Not
soft.
crazy,
It's not super tough. Like Silvertown's your horse to beat, but I think Torneador, who is an older horse, he's 5 years old, ran against older horses last year.
And he's a winner of one. Sorry to interrupt you, Mike. He's a winner of one, but in 6 seconds. This was a horse that you felt like should have, like, he was a maiden for a long time, but he shouldn't have been.
Yeah, no, he ran against some good horses, and even his final start, Calgary Caper and Remember to Breathe, they're both stakes winners.
Yeah.
That's a tough
only got
race
beat a
to run
length
in,
in
but it
3
did
quarters.
undo him for the rest of the year running along and, battling with those kind of horses. But it's a lot easier assignment for Torneador, and his work tab's been brilliant for Milton Palma. He's a very good trainer.
Yeah.
He's only got a few horses,
But he always does a great
you don't
job.
see him every day, and he's a very good conditioner. Worked under a lot of top trainers in the past, and I think Torneador maybe can beat the Ford Silvertown. Those are your two horses. I put the one Always Sunny in for third. He's handled off tracks in the past. If it is going to be an off track, he was given a couple of tough assignments for a non-winner of 2 by running in the BC Derby and then in the BC Cup Classic against older horses last fall. But I put him in for third. He can sprint. His first up run was very good and over a sloppy surface. I went 5, 4, and 1 in race number 7. On to the 8th and final, $4,000 fillies and mares, going 6.5 furlongs. For me, it was 2 horses. The 3, Rachel Runner, the 2, Ariki Princess, both going to be co-favorites. Rachel Run closed out 2016 with a win over Ariki Princess, and looks like the lone speed, and there is no speed in this race. Rachel Run should get a comfortable lead, be very dangerous. Ariki Princess is dangerous, has the race under her belt, ran very game and losing to Zenita Rose and Moonride last time, and I think she's sitting on a win. And I put the 7, Grand Chica in for third for Greg Tracy, another one that ran well, showed speed, and got caught late, but still did have the benefit of some winter racing. That's why I only put her in the 3rd spot. I went 3, 2, and 7 to close out Sunday.
I went to Grand Chica. This is my wise guy pick here. Was in the 10 hole going 6 furlongs last time, and that's a lot to ask. You have to really work to get the lead going in that first turn, and she did. And I think that's why, she came up a little short, ended up a couple lengths short, got beat by 2 under Rico Walcott. Right. So she's going to be a bit of a price. Richard Hamill moves on to her, and she's still in the 7 hole, but we're going 6.5. It's not the 10. I think those 2 factors could put Grand Chica in the winner's circle for Greg Tracy. Ariki Princess is kind of the obvious horse here. She's had a race, only got beat a half a length by Zenita Rose and Moonride. You see how Moonride runs earlier on the card. And Rachel Run, as you mentioned, just a win machine, races. 10 for 25 in the winner's circle. Mark Kluche's horse has been running very good this year. I got him in the 3rd spot.
She's the cheap Dear Lily.
She is. She totally is. She's speedy and she's tough. 7, 2, and 3 for me in the 8th. That'll do it for our analysis of the Sunday Mother's Day card. Up next on screen will be picks. Mike, as always, is up first.
There we go. Back in race number 1, I went to the 5, Stone Ridge Ruler, 5, 1, and 3. Race number 2, I went to the 4, Dashing Dawn on the class drop over the 5, Western Heritage, making his return. I really think 4 and 5 are going to be dangerous, but I don't think you can leave out the 3, Mighty Fraser, either. 4, 5, 3. Race number 3, I went to the 6, Moonride over the 5. I dig that. And the 3, Queen of Barnai. Race number 4, I went to the 7, Estelado, the only 4-year-old filly, running his young fillies, 7, 1, 6. In the 5th race, number 3, Salzburg over the 4, Kermode, and the 1 All Under Control. Race number 6, the George Royal, and a Tri-Modern to defeat Distinctive Passion over the 5, Hobbit Serial. I'm going to go 6-4-5. Race number 7, the 5, Tornador over the 4, Silvertown, and the 1, Always Sunny. And the 8th and final, number 3, Rachel Ryan. I'm going to go 3, 2, and 7 to close it out.
And none of my picks. There we go. Back in the first, I went to the 1, Heart Set over the 5 and the 6. In the second, I looked for number 3, Mighty Fraser to repeat over the 1 and the 6. In the third, I agree with Mike on number 6, Moonride over the 3 and the 5. In the fourth, I went to the 1, Morning Blurs over the 6 and the 4. In the fifth, again, I'm with Mike on number 3, Salzburg over the 4 and the 1. In the sixth, I went to the very fast, the stake race, number 4, Distinctive Passion over the 1 and the 5. In the seventh, I went to the 4, Silvertown over the 7 and the 5. In the nightcap, to the 7, Grand Chico over the 2 and the 3.
All right, thanks everyone for tuning in to Handicapper's Corner. That'll do it for the Sunday, May the 14th edition. Hopefully giving you some insight and some, hopefully get you making some winning decisions or clever decisions as you head up to the windows and make you some money. Our next live card will be Saturday, May the 20th. That is Preakness Day. Yep. Second leg of the Triple Crown. Of course, Todd Pletcher's always dreaming, looking to repeat and give himself a chance to be a Triple Crown winner. But that's on Saturday, May the 20th from Pimlico. We will have a 7-race live card that day. And then on the we don't race Sunday next week. Yeah, we will race the Holiday Monday, Victoria Day. There'll be 2 stakes races on the program, one for 3-year-old fillies. I believe it's the Ross McLeod. Yeah. There's one for 3-year-old colts. And there'll be 8 races on the Holiday Monday, Victoria Day. So we're running Saturday, Monday, both afternoon cards next weekend. On behalf of Drew, thanks everyone for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you here at the Derby Bar and Grill for Handicapper's Corner.